He had just called fire down from heaven. He had just killed 450 false prophets. He had just ended a 3-year drought with a single prayer. And then one woman sent him a text message, and he ran for his life. This is Elijah, one of the most powerful prophets in the entire Bible. And this is the moment fear swallowed his faith whole. But here's what nobody talks about. God's response to that moment reveals something about him that will wreck you in the best way. Stay with me. To understand why Elijah ran, you have to understand what he just came from. 1 Kings 18, Mount Carmel, the showdown of the century. On one side, 450 prophets of Baal, screaming, cutting themselves, dancing around an altar, begging their God to send fire. Silence. On the other side, Elijah, one man. He soaks the altar in water 3 times just to make it harder and prays one simple prayer. Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known today that you are God in Israel. 1 Kings 18:36. Fire falls, consumes the altar, the stones, the water in the trench, everything. The people fall on their faces. The Lord, He is God. This is the peak, the absolute peak of Elijah's prophetic ministry. And then it rains for the first time in 3 years. He outran a chariot back to the city. Elijah is on top of the world. Then Jezebel hears what happened, and she sends Elijah a message. 1 Kings 19:2, that essentially says, by this time tomorrow, you'll be dead just like those prophets. That's it. One threat. No army marching, no sword drawn, just words. And look at verse 3. When Elijah saw that, he arose and ran for his life. He didn't pray. He didn't seek God. He didn't remind himself of the fire that literally just fell from heaven yesterday. He ran. This is the same man who stood before an entire nation and declared, I alone am left as a prophet of the Lord. Bold, unshakable. Now, one woman's words and he's gone. How does this happen? How do you go from fire on a mountain to hiding under a tree in the wilderness? Here's what I want you to understand. This is not a faith failure. This is a human moment. Elijah had just experienced one of the most spiritually and emotionally intense events in history. His body, his mind, his soul, all of it was depleted. Psychologists call it post-adrenaline crash. After extreme highs, spiritual or otherwise, your nervous system bottoms out. Your capacity to process threat is shattered. What felt manageable at full strength feels unsurvivable when you're running on empty. And fear doesn't attack you when you're strong. Fear attacks you right after the victory, when your guard is down, when you've given everything, when you think it's finally over. The enemy knew exactly when to send that message. But here's what I want you to notice in verse 4. Elijah doesn't just run, he prays the most honest prayer in the Bible. It is enough. Lord, take away my life, for I am no better than my fathers. He's burned out. He's hopeless. He's done. And what does God do? He doesn't rebuke him. He doesn't say, how could you after everything I just did? He doesn't pull away. An angel touches him and says, 1 Kings 19:5, arise and eat. That's it. Not a sermon, not a correction, not a faith lesson. Get up, eat, rest. God met his exhaustion with provision, not condemnation. He fed him twice, let him sleep, and then said, the journey is too great for you. God acknowledged that the road ahead was hard. He didn't minimize it. He didn't say, just trust me and toughen up. He said, you need strength for what's coming, and right now you don't have it. Let me feed you. This is the God of Elijah. This is the God of the Bible. He doesn't disqualify you because fear showed up. He doesn't pull your calling because you ran. He meets you under the tree. He meets you in the wilderness. He meets you in the moment you've given up, with bread, with water, with rest, with the quiet voice that says, get up, the journey isn't over. Maybe you've had a Mount Carmel moment, a breakthrough, a victory, a miracle, and then the threat came. The diagnosis, the betrayal, the failure, the one voice that undid everything, and you ran. Here's what the story of Elijah teaches us. 1. Fear after a victory is normal. It doesn't mean your faith was fake. It means you're human. 2. The enemy's best weapon isn't armies, it's words. Jezebel didn't attack, she just spoke. Guard what voices you allow to reach you after a breakthrough. 3. God's first response to your breakdown is not correction, it's compassion. He tends to your humanity before he addresses your calling. 4. Running doesn't disqualify you. Elijah ran, and God still used him to anoint kings, train Elisha, and was eventually taken to heaven in a chariot of fire. His story wasn't over under that tree, and yours isn't either. Hebrews 11 is called the Hall of Faith. It lists the great heroes of the Bible. You know what it doesn't list? Their fear moments. Because fear doesn't define you. What you do after the fear, that's what gets written down. Elijah ran, and God ran after him. If you've been running lately, maybe today is the day you stop. Eat. Rest. Let God meet you right where you are, because the angel is still saying what he said under that juniper tree. Arise and eat, because the journey is too great for you. 1 Kings 19:7. But with God, you won't have to make it alone. If this spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe. God bless you.